You're listening, of course, at WFDU.FM on the internet. So please prepare. I know you already know this. And we're going to be spending this hour learning all about Bobby Darin and meeting Mr. Jimmy Scalia, who is a record producer. He's the official archivist for the singer Bobby Darin's estate. He's a disc jockey. Not when he's here, he's not, because I won't let him. A writer, a documentarian of American popular and rock music, and he currently serves as an advisor and consultant to Steve Blauner, who is Bobby Darin's former manager and was very close to producer Joel Dorn, Buddy Greco, and publicist Harriet Wasser. And if you enjoyed Kevin Spacey's film Beyond the Sea, it was Jimmy they went to get major footage for that film. And he's written extensively for publications like Intune International. He is just a wonderful guy, lives here in Jersey, which is lucky for us, because with all that snow out there, we might not have gotten a chance to have Jim Scalia here. So good morning, Jimmy Scalia. Thank you so much for making time for us here on Anything Goes.
My pleasure. Good morning.
Well, you know, we have milk shows.
Yes, we do. We may not have milk due to the storm, but we have
good.
Milk shows.
See, now I'm going to have to smack you around, because I didn't think of that, so I'm really mad. What's a milk show?
A milk show is a show that Bobby Darin did. He did a year's worth of shows for the American Dairy Association, and they were 5-minute shows, 5 days a week. And
on the radio?
On the radio. They
were
AM radio.
Okay.
And that's how they came about. And he would do snippets of a wide range of songs, different types, rock and roll, American standard songs, what have you. And then they vanished. After they were done and they were broadcast, they became folklore. People would ask me over the years, we did milk shows, or Steve Blauner would say, oh, we did these milk shows. We had 52 weeks worth, of material. And we never thought we would find them. We tried. And then all of a sudden, in Capitol's vaults, Steve Blauner was doing his inventory and what have you, and they were kind of misfiled.
First of all, tell everybody who Steve Blauner is. I think that would be important.
Okay, Steve Blauner is the bulldog. He's the manager of Bobby Darin, and very successful man. He worked for Sammy Davis Jr., managed Bobby Darin, later went on to work at Screen Gems, and then was part of the Monkees, part of BBC, which had the films Easy Rider, The Last Picture Show. So Steve has been around a long time, and he's still, even though he's retired now, always manages Bobby with Dodd Danner. As it's a brotherhood, it's a love. And so here he is in his 80s, and he's still watching over.
Why do you call him the bulldog?
I call him the bulldog because he could be a little gruff, a little tough, but a very honest man, and always has his eye on the ball, and he's always right.
He must be listening.
Yeah. He must be. Well,
You're going to say he's always right. You must know that he's listening.
I know what side my bread is buttered on.
Fair enough. And you said he works with Dodd Danner. Tell us who Dodd is.
Yes, Dodd Danner obviously is the son of Bobby Darin, and he takes care of both parents, their legacy, protects what people may need, whatever, something of Sandra Dee or Bobby Darin. He oversees his parents, which is a full-time job.
Dodd's mom is Sandra Dee.
Is Sandra Dee.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so he has two icons.
Well, that keeps a man busy, I would think.
I would definitely, yes, I agree.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Okay, fair enough. And so back to Steve Blauner in the building at Capitol Records and rifling around doing what?
Well, we were looking for, or I should say he was actually looking for, whatever might be mislabeled, what might be laying around, alternate takes, something that we may have missed. And he stumbled across something that said Farion Productions. These milk shows were the production company of Steve Blauner and Bobby. So they took their mother's names and morphed them together. So all those years, whoever knew that was the milk shows. And then as soon as he saw that, he realized, those are them. And there were all these tapes, all these shows, all these weeks. And then he had them transferred over.
On reel-to-reel tape, I'm guessing?
They were sitting on audio tape, in the vaults.
Oh, that's something. Now, tell us how that works, because we've never been to Capitol Records. And Steve Blauner goes into Capitol Records, and does he have the right to just look at anything? How does that work? Do you know?
Well, they go through the inventory, and it's, itemized and what have you. So that's pretty much. I wasn't there personally while he was doing this, but I know a lot of that is all itemized. And then if there's other stuff that's mislabeled or what have you, that's when you start checking into it to see, gee, what is this? What is that? And that's how a lot of music sometimes gets found, not just on Bobby Darin and not just from Capitol, but basically, any studio where you'll find, like Joel Dorn found Dream Lover's demo, Take 5, which was, he was doing a John Coltrane set, and C and D are close to each other. And when he stumbled across Darin's Dream Lover, and that's what we put on Aces back to back. So it's funny how these things come about.
That's really interesting. So the rights to the recordings that Bobby Darin made, are all of those things housed at Capitol Records?
What he recorded at Capitol, but the other stuff that he has, when he was on Atco, which was the early hits with Erdogan, then he went to Capitol. Blauner got him on Capitol because Sinatra left, and they made Reprise for Frank, and he took his boys. So Darin went to Capitol, he was there a couple of years, and then went back to Atlantic, which was Atco / but recorded Broadway tunes and If I Were a Carpenter, and was, still different types of music. He owned that, though. Anything that was on Atlantic from 1966 on is Bobby Darin's. He later went on to create his own record label called Direction Records because he wanted to start making FM rock protest music. It was just like the hippie era and this and that. He wasn't selling out. He was just wanted his music to have more meaning as a poet, lyrically. So he was having a hard time getting signed by labels. So that's why he then created his own record label called Direction Records and put two albums out. And I was fortunate enough to have all this material and alternate takes. And we had put an album out called Songs from Big Sur, which I had brought a copy for you. And this is all basically rock. This is not Mac the Knife. And I have him. We found
songs from Big Sur, and this is what did you have something to do with putting this collection together, Jimmy Scalia?
I produced this with a gentleman, Carrie Mansfield, and I also did the liner notes. And we have cuts from him from the Troubadour, which at the time were never released prior to this disc.
Oh, that's neat.
And a couple of singles that never came out on disc or what have you. So it's a different Bobby Darin. And
these are songs he wrote mostly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
At least that's what I'm seeing.
Yes.
Some Bobby Darin classics for you as components of the Milk Shows. This is a double CD set of Bobby Darin material just recently unearthed, and they ended up on the Edsel label, Jim Scalia?
Yes, Edsel, and it's also Demon.
Okay.
And they're out of the UK. A great company, but you can purchase them on Amazon here in the States, and if you jump on Amazon UK, you can purchase them. You have no problem. When we first got them, I was thinking to myself, the songs are so abbreviated, but the arrangements are great. And they were worthwhile because if you listen to his voice, he's got a great interpretation of music. What he tends to do is, if he's singing a Bing Crosby song, he's not mimicking Bing Crosby. He just gives you a veneer or an aura of Bing, but still being Darin. And I think that's what made Darin so special. He was able to do that with many other people, or just to try and do different songs, and he would always do them differently. So that's what, and it's very intimate. There's nothing to hide behind here. His piano player was Dick Berkey, and the drummer is Ronnie Zito, and Billy Christ on bass, and the guitarist is Milt Norman. and sometimes there's a little weakness in the voice, and there isn't, but he's able to put that song off, and it's just beautiful.
Were these done live? Or were they edited? Because the songs are abbreviated and they're going from one song to the next. I'm just wondering if the musicians had an arrangement like that, and if Bobby sang one song to the next, or whether or not they cut them and then put them together.
It was edited. For example, they did their songs at Capitol without the applause, obviously, and all that campy clapping and the announcer. They did these songs. And then what happened was they would edit the commercial and what have you, and that's how they became, you know. So the thing was, what I did, I extracted a lot of that applause and a lot of the commercials and just morphed one song into the next, kind of, maybe with him introducing it or what have you. So this way it would flow. And I did that for the disc, and still keeping a little bit of the advertisement in there for the American Dairy Association. So this way you got a feel of what the show was about and how, you know.
So you got the raw tapes from Steve Blauner, and then what's your process of putting this together so that it becomes a 2 CD set that people want to buy?
Okay, well, what I did then is it started out as not thinking we can do anything with this. And Blauner is a big music buff. He's got one big collection. I took the songs and just cut everything out so he can have a couple of discs of just the music so he can listen to it.
Okay.
And then we realized, you know, I think we have a vehicle here. I think we have something. And that's how that kind of came about. And I just, you know, decided where I was going to put the songs, and just to let it flow, a little bit of, you know, Jolson, or a little bit of this, or a little bit of Sinatra, you know. And then it just seemed to have a nice pattern to it. And then he hooked up with the people from Demon, or Etzel, the Etzel label. And that came about. And they wanted to put it out. And they really care. They're a great company. So then I had gotten in touch with a friend of mine, author David Evanier. He wrote multiple books. He just had a book out, I think, 2 years ago on Tony Bennett, All Things You Are. He did a Bobby Darin book, Roman Candle. And I said, David, will you do the liner notes for this? And he said, I'll be more than happy to.
Let's just tell everybody a little bit about how you and I met way back when, because I think, first of all, you and I both know that if we don't mention this particular person that introduced us, something is going to happen. Probably things will fall out of the sky onto us.
You've got that right.
So I was innocently doing a radio program here at WFDU FM, and I got a telephone call from a woman named Harriet Wasser.
Yeah, she was like the little engine that could. She was
little too, tiny
woman. She was petite, you know, and but the tenacity of a terrier. And she just introduced me. Actually, I was good friends with a girl who started the Bobby Darin website by the name of Linda Johnson. Okay, this is back in the day when there wasn't a lot out there.
Okay.
And this woman, Harriet, had gotten Linda's name and contacted her.
Now, who was Harriet? Tell
now,
everybody.
Harriet was
what's her involvement with Bobby Darin?
She's Bobby Darin's PR person. She knew Sammy Davis Jr. She was actually the one who introduced Steve Blauner to Sammy Davis, and that's how that all came about. And then later on with Darin. And then in the 90s, I believe in the 80s and the early 90s, she was very strong in the Latin music community. She was very close with Tito Puente. So she was her tastes were very eclectic, and she had a great ear on her. So she was Bobby's PR person, and even after he died, she just plugged away and plugged away and plugged away, and then we met, and then it was love at first sight.
Well, it's true. I mean, she knew you and brought you into the fold, working on the website and becoming the archivist. And then she reached out to me because she knew I was a radio program that would play Bobby Darin, and it really a remarkable woman. One story that I have about Harriet that you may not know is that at one point it was a while ago, I was promoting a concert at Carnegie Hall for Barbara Cook. And Harriet wanted to come, so I brought her with me as my guest. And now this had to be the early 2000s, I guess. And Bobby had been dead how many years at that point?
73 he died.
Okay, so we're talking a good 25 years or more since Harriet had been in Carnegie Hall with anything Bobby Darin. And when I walked in, all of the ushers and staff at Carnegie Hall started bowing and scraping to Harriet. It was the most extraordinary thing I ever saw.
Amazing. Yeah.
Like, if you have candy, if you're the one who always has candy, or pigeons in a park, they all gravitated
flocked
to
to her,
Harriet.
Yes.
And it was amazing to me because, as you and I both know, she had a physical disability and whatever, but all of a sudden, all of the staff from Carnegie Hall recognized her and started coming out of the woodwork to pay homage to her. So you became the archivist for Bobby Darin, all things Bobby Darin. Now, Harriet passed, and then what happened? There was a lot of Bobby Darin memorabilia in Harriet's possession. Is that right?
Yeah. What had happened then was Harriet did not have any family other than a brother. Mm-hmm. And when she passed, I had gotten the stash, as Joel would say. I got the stash. But not only on Darin, but, a lot of stuff, and a lot of other people, Julius La Rosa, and, she was just, Harry Belafonte. So we were emptying the apartment out in the Bronx, and I'm trying to store it and stow it in all different places. And I had my son help me, and oh my gosh, and it was very bittersweet. But I'll tell you, what a walk she had. Really, she was, and back in the 50s, for a woman to be so predominantly, successful wasn't I don't think as common. It was more of a man's world back then.
Absolutely.
So it just goes to show you, how hard work, knowledge, and, paid for her, worked.
And tenacity. Let's not forget tenacity when we're talking about Harriet. Tell me about websites and things, Jim Scalia.
Sure. It really is a team effort, a team that's phenomenal.
Uh-huh.
The website girls, there are 4 of them, and they work very hard keeping that website up to date and very current. And we also have a Facebook page. So obviously the website is www.bobbydarin.com, and the Facebook page is Bobby Darin -Entertainer. If you go on Facebook and maybe like it, and constantly there's always updates and what have you. And every once in a while on Friday, I'll throw a video. We'll make it like a Friday night video, and I'll throw something from my archives of Darin. And
is that so? That's neat.
Yeah. So like this week, for example.
You should send me links. We'll link together.
Oh, and well, I have a YouTube page, Jimmy Scalia, and you'll see the videos that we put up, and some of them we actually produce, my son and I, for Shark Bite Productions, which is our production company. So what we'll do is, for example, there was a Bobby Kennedy, the anniversary of his passing. We did, and he was very close friends with Bobby Darin. So what we did is we made I guess it was 7-minute video, and we had people like Steve Blauner and what have you, and mixed it, edited it, and and those come out of Shark Bite Productions. So there is a Facebook page for the Bobby Darin, and there's also a YouTube page, Jimmy Scalia, and they're in conjunction with each other. If you go on the Facebook page, you can find me. If you go on the Bobby Darin website, you can find me. So, as a matter of fact, you can run. I can run, but I can't hide. In other words, I just seem to be...
You turn up like a bad penny.
Yeah, pretty much so, right?
Now, I just want to mention to people, you've created these wonderful calendars, which we're going to give people a chance to call in and win one. Tell me about this calendar. This is a 2015 calendar, and it tells people to visit BobbyDarin.com, and on Facebook, Bobby Darin-Entertainer. But the Bobby Darin Dream Car, this isn't just a calendar. This is a poster. This is so nice.
There you go. Well, again, I'm fortunate. The Darin people, Dodd and Steve, a lot of times they let me run with my creativity. So, which could be a dangerous thing. So we usually, we'll give away some Bobby Darin wine once in a while. It started as a joke. My father-in-law made homemade wine, and what we did was we would just start making labels and just give a couple of bottles out, And So now the website girls, whoever works for us, they get a bottle of Bobby Darin wine every year. So and some of the people save them because they're all different labels. You had
Yes, you
received
gave
one
me a
which was
bottle
the
of Bobby
Magna
Darin. Very nice.
And Dodd Danner is just so hip. He just lets me run with this stuff. And then I did the calendars as well. And that's what it's about. I'll take some kind of either advertisement for the Copacabana. Last year, I think there was an advertisement with him with a cowboy hat on saying, "These are Darin times."
Oh, that's wonderful.
With the Copa girls,
Yeah.
And so this year we did the car,
And-
the Bobby Darin Dream car.
And where can people get these other than we're about to give some away?
We put the JPEG or the PDF file on the website and on the Facebook page. So it'll give all the listeners or anyone who wishes to have a copy of this calendar can just go on there and print one out for themselves.
This says the Bobby Darin Dream Car. Bobby Darin drove his wife Sandra Dee in the car to the 34th Academy Awards in 1961. But read them. This is such interesting stuff. From 1953 to 1960, the car was hand-built.
Hand-built, yes. It was listed the most expensive custom-made car in the world by the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, well, it was built at a cost of $93,647,000 and then sold to Bobby Darin at the cost of $150,000, which would be equivalent to $1.5 million
1.5
today.
Yeah. He donated it to the Museum of Transportation in Missouri. So if anybody's in Missouri and they visit the Museum of Transportation, you can see this car on display there.
Metallic red paint made with 30 coats of ground diamonds for sparkles. Are you kidding me?
Hey, it's a shark bite.
Give us a shout right now at 201-692-2012. That's 201-692-2012. And the phone lines are open, so call and say hey. WFDU, hold please. All right, you can pick up any line you want, Jimmy.
Hi, this is Jimmy Scalia. How are you? No, not necessarily. If you give me your name, I bet you're going to get it. Okay, and you're at?
WFDU, this is Lise. Congratulations. Who's this?
Thank you so much. It's a labor of love.
So tell us more about what's going on, Jim Scalia. Tell us all things Bobby Darin. We want to be in the know.
Okay, well, we're going to keep you up to date and current. Right now, we are working on a disc I'm putting together, and we're probably going to call it From Bronx to Broadway.
Oh, yeah?
And it will have a lot of Broadway tunes, basically predominantly all Broadway tunes. But the beauty here is there is going to be, I think there are 3 songs that have never been released, 2 which people have been waiting quite a long time for.
Really?
One called Weeping Willow, one called Manhattan in My Heart. They're exceptional tunes. We found them on a little piece of tape that was in Steve Blauner's closet. And we had Joel Dorn. We were working on Aces back-to-back when we found this.
Really?
And we transferred it over. So these songs have kind of been hovering around. But we're going to take it to another level, because now that my son is a film guy, we'll hopefully put out some videos with this of Manhattan in My Heart and Weeping Willow. So it's not just for the eyes.
Oh, fantastic.
Just for the ears, for the eyes as well.
So the next thing would maybe be a CD, DVD set or something like that.
Or something like that, yeah. It's still in the transition. We have young lady Pat Zimmer is going to write the liner notes for us, and she works on the Bobby Darin Facebook page and the website. So she knows her Darin inside and out, and we're going to try and put this together.
Some people think that Bobby Darin and Frank Sinatra had a feud going on. Is that true?
No, it's not. It makes for good publicity, but what really happened is Darin really respected Sinatra. I mean, definitely. And when Bobby was getting his Grammys and what have you, when he just broke through, a reporter asked him, do you want to surpass Frank? Do you want to be bigger than Frank? Or, and Darin would say, why would you do that to me? I would like to be the best Bobby Darin I could be.
Yeah,
and
good answer.
And he would say, oh, but, and this and that. And the guy wrote the article. His name escapes me right now. And that's what caused this fictitious, rift that these gentlemen had. But no, Frank always respected Bobby. And as a matter of fact, I know Nancy's close with Dodd. And, and Nancy was close with Bobby as well. And Tony Orlando one time mentioned that when he was talking to Frank Sinatra, he said that Bobby Darin would be the heir apparent.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's right there. Now, if you really want to hear the story, I just threw it on YouTube on the Bobby Darin Facebook page called Tim Rice on Bobby Darin. I think I threw it up Friday. If you can go to my YouTube page, or you can go on Bobby Darin's Facebook page and scroll down, you'll see it, and you'll actually hear Steve Blauner, who was there, tell you the story.
Oh, neat.
Yep.
Okay, so that's on the Bobby Darin Facebook page.
You can find it on the Facebook page, or you can jump on YouTube and go to Jimmy Scalia page, and you'll see it. Tim Rice on Bobby Darin, it's titled.
All right. Gosh, there's so much we could talk about, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been a very fast hour.
Yes.
My goodness. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.